What I want to talk to you about in this lesson is launching your very first membership for the very first time. With any membership site, you want to have the maximum amount of momentum you can going into that launch. So you don't want to launch slow, because with a membership site, the last thing that you want people feeling is that they're an idiot because they're the only one who joined. And sometimes that can happen. If you have a membership site and you don't launch it using the strategies that we've talked about here in this module, and you kind of just release it and a few people join here or a few people join there, it can feel like a ghost town if you have a community, because there's not enough mass or momentum for people to be engaging, and there's not enough discussions happening, and it can feel like a ghost town. And you don't want that to happen. But even if you're starting with a smaller list, one of the things that you can do is really prep your audience in advance. In fact, in the last couple weeks, I've had 2 of my clients experience this very thing, where they had a course that they sold, and people were craving the community after that particular course. So the course was a modular course. It was set for a period of time, much like Tribe is. And they did a great job of cultivating the community during the time that they taught the course. But people were craving more. And they were craving that ongoing component or that ongoing community. So it set itself up perfectly for a membership. In both cases, with both my clients, they were actually looking to launch a membership site much later on. So it wasn't something that they were initially looking to do. They were planning for it at least 6 months after the actual course itself. But this presented a huge opportunity. It presented an opportunity because the community or the people going through the course were craving that ongoing community. So it set itself up nicely for a membership. And it gave them a way to be able to test and modify and try different concepts inside the membership before they officially launch it to their bigger list. So here's my advice as it relates to that. Number one, if you are coming off of something like that, or even if you've got a tiny list and you're getting people who are asking you for that ongoing component, one of the ways that you want to position this is that you want to position it so that they know that you're going to do this for them much earlier than expected. So you're doing it for them, which you are. If they're asking for it and you weren't initially thinking about it, then you're positioning it so that it's in their best interest and you're doing it for them. And you're almost playing a little bit of a reluctant hero, because again, you are. In both my clients' cases, they weren't looking to launch the membership until much, much later. But there was just so much momentum that they did not want to lose that momentum by waiting. So what they did was they positioned it as, I'm doing this, I'm going to do this early, and it's going to be based around your interests. And they would show social proof of that in the email campaign for this particular launch. But the other thing that they would do, and this is really important with any launch of any membership site, is you really want to be intentional about managing expectations early. The last thing you want is somebody joining a membership site thinking that they're going to have ongoing access to you, because that's not what you want, and that's not how you want this positioned. You want to make sure that they realize that you're going to be providing content, just like we've talked about in module number 2. You want them to realize that you're going to help walk them through all of the different strategies to getting the transformation that they're after, which is that success path. But the key thing is that you want to cast a vision of what this community is going to be like. And you can build off, if you've got it, the momentum that you've already gained through a course that you may have taught or a particular community that you've already started to cultivate. So the key when you're launching a membership site is that you want to manage those expectations up front. The sites that have huge drop-off have a huge disparity between what is positioned in the membership on the sales side and what the actual experience is on the member side. If there's a huge gap between what you're selling and what they're actually experiencing, you're going to experience a huge drop-off. And in fact, I've seen in some cases as much as 30, 40, even 50% drop-off, meaning 50% of the people who join in month 1 are canceling in month 2, which is crazy. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that those people have not properly managed expectations on the front end. So I like to almost take the opposite approach. I like to take that reluctant hero approach, and I like to say, listen, I'm doing this ahead of schedule because you have expressed so much interest, and there's such a great energy that we've got, going into this. Then I also like to hold back some of the things. So even if you're thinking about all the whiz-bang features that you want to implement and all the awesome things that you're going to do, I don't want you to just spew and share all those things. I want you to hold some of those things back so you have constant good news in that small group if you're going to launch to a smaller list. In both my clients' cases, they were launching to the smaller group and they were looking at it like a beta launch. And that's what they said, and the way that we positioned it for their particular communities. We said, this is going to be something brand new. We're actually going to be in it together. So, as we look to develop the membership, I want you to have a big say in what that looks like. And so the community feels like they have say in the shaping of the membership, which they will. And the key thing is that they know that this is going to be a little rough around the edges when you initially launch. This is something new. This is something that you're experimenting with and you're trying. And in most cases, it's going to be ahead of schedule. Again, I want you to make sure you're always truthful about what you're saying. So if people haven't requested community or it's not ahead of schedule, then don't obviously say those things. But if it is, I do want you to leverage them, and I want you to talk about them. And then the other thing that you want your early members feeling is that we're in this together, so that they have a role in shaping the future of that community. Now, the other way that I've seen people do this is I've seen them also limit the number of beta members who are part of the community. And they created some conditions around that. So they said, if you are part of this beta community, you agree to engage in discussion in the forum and to answer and respond to questions and so forth. And the reason they did that was they wanted to plant the seed that they want this beta community to be active, so that when they launch to the public and the public comes in, they see that there's a lot of activity, there's a lot going on, and it's like, okay, this is a good place to be. And so there's a lot of comfort there. It's not the ghost town effect that we talked about earlier. So when you launch a community, it's really important to do a couple key things. Number one, manage expectations up front. Both, you want to make sure you match what you say in the sales material with the experience that members are going to have. Number two, you want to manage your own expectations so that you're not sharing all of the things that you think you're going to do, because that may change. And so if you say what you think you're going to do, people will expect you to do them. So just don't say that, but cast a vision of what you think your community would like to be like, or what you would like to see the community be like. Talk about the values and the character of the people in the community, and the values is a big thing. People will buy into the values, and talk about the transformation that you're looking to help people create and experience. That's what I want you to focus on when you launch a membership site, because when you do that properly, you will have a much more engaged community. And in module number 4, when we talk about retention, we're going to go deep on all kinds of engagement tactics and strategies, because that keeps people happy and paying. The more engaged they are, the more they're going to stay. So we'll go deep on that. But I just want, from a marketing standpoint, it's really important that you manage expectations up front and manage your own expectations on the back end in terms of what you share with people that you're going to produce for the membership. All right, so that's a wrap as it relates to marketing. Now, I did not go into detail about social media and all these other tactics that you possibly can use, but I do encourage you to use them if you have experience with them. Everything that you do, you can biggie size if you take the core of what we've talked about in this marketing plan and add those other components that you probably already know about to really create additional leverage. But at the end of the day, the 3 things that have worked over and over for us are the public promotions, the evergreen promotions, and the flash promotions. And then with the public promotions, it's the 3 components: the list builder, the video series, and the webinars. That's the core framework for everything that we've done. It's super simple, but highly effective. In the next module, we're going to be talking about retention. This is everything that you do to keep people happy and paying. And I'm telling you now, this is the most important module if you want to make the most amount of money with your membership. If you don't want to make a lot of money with your membership, skip this module. But if you want to maximize the revenue potential, make sure you dial in for that particular module because it is really critical to the overall success of your membership. We want people staying, and we want them staying for a long time. Not months, but years. And in the next module, I'll show you how. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.